Good morning, students. Welcome to online class, class 8 English grammar. Today we are going to learn something about adverbs. An adverb is a word or a phrase that tells us more about a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. That means adverb modifies the meaning of a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. So adverbs can also modify the meaning of another adverb. Now, adverb tells us when, how, where, why, how often, and to what extent something happens. So, adverb tells us how, when, where, why, how often, and to what extent something happens. Here I have some examples. Tariq slowly walked back home from the market. Tariq slowly walked back from the market. It is here slowly. Tariq walked. How? How Tariq walked? Tariq walked slowly. So slowly is an adverb which tells us how the action took place. Another example. I have my dance class tomorrow. Tomorrow is the adjective here, and the tomorrow tells us when the action takes place. I have my dance class. When? Tomorrow. So this tomorrow tells us when the action is going to take place. Then the children are playing outside. Children are playing outside. Outside is the adjective. Outside tells us where the action takes place. Children are playing outside. Outside tells us where the action takes place. Children are playing where? Outside. So outside is the adjective, gives us the information about playing, where it takes place. Then, my neighbor takes his dog out for a walk every day. My neighbor takes his dog outside for a walk every day. That means how often my neighbor takes his dog out for a walk? Answer is every day. So every day gives the answer to the question how often the action takes place. Every day. Then the water is extremely cold. Water is extremely cold. Extremely is the adjective adverb here that tells us to what extent. The water is cold. Cold to what extent? What is the limit of the cold? To what limit it is cold? Extremely cold. So it is extremely close to what extent something happens. Now, according to this, how, when, where, how often, what to what extent, we can classify adverbs into almost five kinds. Five kinds of adverbs. First, adverb of manner. Second, adverbs of time. Third, adverbs of place. Adverbs of frequency. Fourth, and fifth, adverbs of degree. Now, adverbs of manner tells how the action takes place. How the action takes place is not denoted by adverbs of manner. Tariq walked back home from the market slowly. How? How Tariq walked back home from the market slowly. So, how the action takes place. So, the first example is of adverbs of manner. How the action takes place. Now, adverbs of time. Example: I have my dance class tomorrow. When do I have my dance class? Tomorrow. So, tomorrow answers the question when. And this is adverb of time. Tomorrow is an example of adverb of time. Next, adverbs of place. My neighbor takes his dog out for a sorry. The children are playing outside. The children are playing outside. Where are the children playing? Outside. Outside is the answer to the question where. So outside is an example of adverbs of place. Next, the example is my neighbor takes his dog out for a walk every day. How often does my neighbor take his dog out for a walk? Answer is every day. So every day is an example of adverbs of frequency. Frequency means how often something happens. So it is an adverb of frequency. Every day is the example for an adverb of frequency. Next, the water is extremely cold. The water is cold. To what extent is the water cold? Extremely. Extremely. So this extremely is an example for adverbs of degree. Extremely is an example for adverbs of degree, tells us how, to what extent the something happens is denoted by adverbs of degree. Then there are some other adverbs of relative adverbs. Relative adverbs are used in complex sentences to join two or more sentences together into a complex sentence. When, where, why are examples of relative adverbs. Then there are some other adverbs: obviously, usually, normally, unfortunately, etc. They modify an entire sentence. The complete sentence is modified by adverbs like obviously, usually, normally, unfortunately, etc. They do not what is called modify a verb alone or an adjective alone or another adverb alone, but they modify the complete entire sentence. For example, unfortunately, in the beginning, unfortunately, it began to rain just as the match started. Unfortunately, it began to rain just as the match started. So, unfortunately is modifying the complete sentence. Entire sentence is modified by unfortunately. So the kinds of adverbs once again, adverbs of manner, adverbs of time, adverbs of place, then adverbs of frequency, adverbs of degree, and relative adverbs. Relative adverbs are used to join two or more sentences together into a complex sentence. I hope you all understood the topic adverbs. Thank you everyone.